इंटेल वर्ड कभी पढ़ा है क्या? सुना है एटलीस्ट?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it is a stylized as a it is an American company. Okay, that is the Intel Corporation. It is a Intel Corporation. The name of the that is a, this is a particular name of the company they have given. The headquarter of this particular company is in Santara. Okay, in Santa Clara in USA. Okay. Now this company, the name of the researcher or the name of the manufacturer for this company, I think it is a some Santa. I don't remember actually the name of that person actually, but he has developed this company in California. Okay. This company has been developed by the Robert or something like that. The name of the person is something like that, and he has established this company in 1968. He has established this company in 1968. In short, he has developed some semiconductor information. Okay, some chip related information. He has inaugurated. He has developed that concept in this particular research, and then the name of the company he has given, that is the Intel. So that will be developed in 1968. That will be developed in 1968. Okay, just wait. Okay. Now, what is the microprocessor? Micro means what? It is a very small processor. Processor means what? Process means what? The process, the part on which you can process on that. Okay, the user can process on that. That is the micro. Micro is very small chip, and processor means you can process on that. That is the microprocessor. Now, it is developed by the Intel, name of the company is the Intel, and he has developed, the Robert has developed this company in 1968. Okay. Now, here they have developed the very first microprocessor, which is a 4-bit microprocessor. Let me share my PPT. Just wait. We'll share my PPT. PPT is visible, guys? Just wait. The PPT is not shared. Now PPT is visible. PPT is visible, guys.
And screen is visible, but not PPT.
So PPT नहीं है.
Yes, ma'am.
I will stop everything first. Check it. Mm. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible, guys?
Yes, ma'am. Now
Yes,
visible.
ma'am. Yes,
Just
ma'am.
wait, huh? Okay, just wait. Okay. Now I think it is very clearly visible to you. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Now what we have to study in first unit, we have to see the brief history of Intel processor. Then we will go through the 386. Before going through the 386 microprocessor, it is not understood that directly you have to learn the 386 processor. Before that, you should know very first 404, then 4040, 008, 80, 85, 86, 88, 186, 286, and then we'll go for 386. Otherwise, I will take this first, even you don't have in your syllabus. But when I am directly taking 386 microprocessor, you won't understand anything. So before that, I must have to take the basic thing regarding the microprocessor. So we will go through the first brief history of Intel microprocessor. Now I have this is the first unit actually, and what is the requisite for this particular unit? You should know the knowledge of your memory organization, memory segmentation. Okay, that we will see. Now here you can go through these books for this unit, that is the microprocessor and interfacing, that is by Douglas Hall. Then you have 386 James Turley, that name of the manual I have already told in the last lecture. Okay, now we will go for the first brief history of Intel processor. Intel is the name of the company. Okay, that this company is developed by the Robert. Robert is the name of the researcher. Okay, he has developed that company in 1968. Now he has from Intel 4004 to Intel i7. Now i7 is not there. Now i10 is there. Am I right? Am I right?
I9.
i9 i10 पण आहे बाळा. आता आलाय i10.
Generation. I am 11 generation.
That is the generation. Yes, we have to go through. That is the generation. That we have to go for the generation only. Now we'll go for the Intel. Now see, I have just given. He has founded this particular Intel, name of the company, which is the headquarter of this company is California in Santa Clara. Okay, he has developed this company in 1968, and the founder name is Robert. Okay, now he has developed, but the remaining two researchers, that is the Jordan Murray and Andrew, they have just started that particular company. Okay, and they has gained all the what I can say, they have developed this company. Okay, now first 4-bit microprocessor, which is introduced in 1971. Okay, have you understood what is the definition of a microprocessor? Have you understood the definition of a microprocessor? Micro means it is very simple. Process means the process on which it is doing some work on that. It is processing on that. That is the microprocessor. That is the micro is a small chip. Processor is the process on which he will doing some work. He will doing some process on that. Okay. So into that, this is the very first. What do you mean by 4-bit? Whenever you are purchasing your mobile, so you are considering, अरे मेरा प्रोसेसर इतना चाहिए, इतना बिट का चाहिए, उतना बिट का चाहिए, 16 बिट का चाहिए, 4 बिट का चाहिए. So what is the meaning of 4 bit? Anybody know? What is the meaning of 4 bit? Yes, anybody from the DSC? Oh, sorry. Just 1 minute, wait. I forgot to send the link to the PSC. Okay, anybody know what is the meaning of the 4-bit? Let me know. See, 4-bit means what? It has the capacity to accept the 4-digit number. Okay, it has. See, you know the binary number system very well. You know the binary number system.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it is 0 and 1 only. Computer will understood only 0 and 1 only. Okay, so this is the binary number system. Now, the processor has the capacity to accept the only the one single one is called as 1 bit. Okay, single one is called as 1 bit. Okay, now 8 bit means 1 byte. 8 bit means 1 byte. I think this you know very well. Okay, 16 bit means what? It is a 2 byte. 16 bit means what? It is a 2 byte. So here is the very first processor, that is the Intel 400 processor. It is a 4-bit processor. That means the meaning of this, it has the capacity to accept the 4-bit data. Okay, it has the address line. Now, madam, what do you mean by address line? Line means, just consider now it is a bus. Bus means what? What is the function of bus? What is the function of bus? अपना general meaning क्या रहता है आपको public transport का? They will carry all the people from one place to the another place. The same thing over here. See guys, I am giving each and every example for that particular technical point. So you should remember it. Okay, whenever I am asking the oral, at the time of the oral, I want the answer from you. Okay, so 4-bit means what? It accepts the 4-bit numbers. It accepts the 4-bit data. Data means what? It is like a information. Okay, now whenever it transmits this information on a bus, bus means what? It is like the wired path is there between the processor and what you can say outward devices. Okay, processor and the outward devices. Just wait. Okay. Now it is a 4-bit processor. Okay. Now the bus. Have you understood the concept of bus? It is a wired path through which the microprocessor will transmit the data to or from the outside. Okay, from the outside or other devices Okay, now it is this 4-bit microprocessor is introduced in 1971 by the Intel processor only. Now this, it has the 4-bit data. It has the 4-bit address bus. Okay, it has the 4-bit address bus. It has the 4-bit data, and its clock speed is 740 kilohertz. Now I will explain what is the address bus. Data bus, have you understood? Data bus, have you understood? The path on which data can be transmitted to or from the microprocessor. Okay, to or from the processor. Okay. Now the address bus means what? Whatever the information related to that address. Address means specific place. Okay. So in a computer, the address will be generated. Address will be specified by the some hex number, which is started from 000 to FFFFH. You are getting, guys? You are getting, guys?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Only 2 to 3 people are just responding me. I don't know why. You are not getting, guys. Am I audible, guys? Properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, good. Okay, good. So you have got this concept. What is the data bus? What is the address bus?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the address, that is the address in the computer, that will be specified in a hex format, and that hex format. I think you know the number system very well. Binary number system is there, hex number system is there. Okay. So that will be represented in a binary format, in a hex format, that is 0000 H to the FFFFH. Okay. Now clock speed. First, the very first feature is introduced by the 1971. Okay. Now the what is the clock rate? 740 kilohertz. The clock rate for this particular processor is a 740 kilohertz. So what is that? Clock rate is what? What do you mean by clock? What do you mean by clock? That is a very simple term.
Processor.
Ah?
Base speed of a processor.
हाँ बरोबर है बरोबर है yes. Oh, may I know your good name please?
Ma'am, Vipul.
Vipul, good. Okay, Vipul, good. Okay, it is the speed of the processor actually. Okay, so that is the, for this processor it is a 740 kilohertz. Now here it execute the 60,000 instruction per second. मॅडम काय 60,000 instruction per second execute करतो म्हणजे काय करतो? What is that? Okay, that I will tell you one by one. Now simple example I want to give you. Okay. Your mother has given some instruction to you. अरे ये काम करना है आपको, or just bring something from the shop. Okay, whatever that. This is the simple example. So what you have? You have the instruction from your mother. You are getting? Yes. What instruction? Bring instruction. Okay, bring instruction. What do you have to bring? Whatever the name, just get the fruit. Apple. You have to bring the apple from the shop. Okay, so apple is the data. What action you have to perform? You have to bring that. You have to switch from your home place to the shop. That is, you have to move from one place to the another place. Am I right? You are getting this example very well. So in the microprocessor don't has his own memory. That means the man or the human has his own brain. Okay, he can think and something like that. But microprocessor is not something like that. It is like a robot only. It don't has his own memory. Own memory म्हणजे समजते तुम्हाला? जसं ह्युमनला स्वतःचं डोकं असते, he can think about that. That is not like the microprocessor. Whatever the instruction is given by the people, by the person, by the programmer, by the software engineer, that he has to follow that instruction. That's all. So whatever the instruction is given by the person, he has to just follow that instruction. That's all. You won't do anything more. Okay. Now the people or the user will give some instruction to the processor. Okay. That add this two number, subtract this two number. Okay. So he will just add that number and give the answer. He will just subtract that number and he will give the answer. That means what? He is executing that particular instruction. He is executing like you. The example I have just given you, your mother and you. So you are the microprocessor. Your mother is a human. And you are the microprocessor. You are not using your brain. See, you are not using your brain. You have, what instruction your mother has given? Just go to the shop and get the apple. But while bringing the apple, you have to see that apple, whether it is in good quality or not. That you won't say. ऐसे बोला है ना मुझे मदर ने, चलो कुछ तो लेके आते हैं, एप्पल लेके आएंगे. Okay, you are getting? So you are the microprocessor. Understood, na, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
okay. So what this? So your mother has just given. Similarly, your user, programmer, or the software engineer, it will just give the instruction to the computer, to the processor. Yes, execute. Add this to number. Add this. But the rate of that instruction execution, you are very faster. Some people are very अरे अभी तो बोला है जाएंगे 1 घंटे बाद एप्पल लेने जाएंगे 2 घंटे बाद एप्पल लेने इट इज नॉट समथिंग लाइक दैट okay you have to execute you have to hurry up okay you have to just do that work as early as possible that is the per second that is the per second that means whatever the instruction your mother has given you have to execute within some time period so here same example here in the same in a microprocessor it executes the 60,000 instruction per second okay in the 4 microprocessor. Now the instruction set contained here is the 46 instruction. Like there are some instruction set. The Intel has already defined some instruction set. What instruction he has to follow? Okay, like your mother will give only 4 to 5 instructions to you. Okay, not more than that. Okay, so you have the instruction set only 4 to 5 instructions are there. But that is the same thing over here in a microprocessor. There are 46 instruction sets are there, and that will be defined by the Intel processor. The same instruction set the user has to use for this processor. Now, whenever this particular processor has been developed, they have used the transistors. They have used the transistors, and that is a excuse me guys okay there is a number of transistors they have to use that is 2300 at a 10 see transistor is that you have some rate is there for the transistors okay now the next is the addressable memory means what it has the address where you should have that particular what is the size of that particular microprocessor okay so that will be the 640 bytes registers are 16 registers are there okay and this is a design for your this particular processor is designed for the VCCOM calculator so this is the very first microprocessor they have developed okay now the next that is the Intel 4040. Now, there are some common features from the beginning processor that is the 4004 processor. It has again the 4-bit data bus. It has the 4-bit address bus. Okay. But it has developed in 1974 and it has the clock speed which is a little bit increased than the previous which is the 500 to 740 kilohertz. Okay. Even the instruction sets get increased in this particular version of the microprocessor that is there you have only the 46 instructions are there but here they have increased into the 60 instruction set. Now the number of transistors they have increased near about the 3000 and the register sets are also increased here and that will be near about 24 registers. Okay, excuse me. Okay, so the register sets get increased that is near about 24 registers. So this is the next version of Intel processor. Now here they have in this particular processor they have introduced the concept of interrupt. Now what do you mean by interrupt? What do you mean by interrupt? I will give the simple example regarding the interrupt. Suppose you are okay, suppose okay, suppose you are studying now. You are studying now. Just okay, and your mother has given the instruction. अरे ये कर दो, वो कर दो, or come for the lunch, or go to the shop. Okay, these are the two interrupts. So you are doing your study now, and she is interrupting me. अरे come for the lunch. That means what you have to stop your work. Whatever the study you have to stop there, and what you have to do? You have to go for the lunch. That means your mother is interrupting you Am I right? So this is a simple example. See the concept, whenever the concept will come, this is the particular concept behind the interrupt, and in detail we will see in, I think, in third or fourth unit. Okay, the concept is something like that. That is, your mother has interrupted. Similarly, whenever the microprocessor is executing some instructions, there are some system calls are there, and they are interrupting. They are interrupting the processor. That the processor will stop their work there, and he will switch from that work to the another work. So that is the concept of interrupt. Okay, so this concept they have included in this version of the microprocessor, that is the Intel 4040. Okay, now the next is the just wait, guys. Okay, screen is visible, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anybody can read it? Let me know.
Intel 8008.
Yes, Aditya, can you read it? I don't know the surname of that, but I think yesterday he has given me some answers.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Aditya, can you read the slide so that I can get it? Yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am. Intel 8008.
Okay, Intel 8088. Okay, now the next version they have developed, that is the 8008. This is the 8-bit microprocessor. This is the 8-bit microprocessor. 8-bit means what? They have increased the capacity. They have increased the capacity. Instead of 4-bit, they have increased the 8-bit processor. This processor has been developed in 1972. Okay, in 1972, and the clock speed is 500 kilohertz. It executes the 50,000 instructions per second. It executes the 50,000 instructions per second. It has the number of transistors near about 3,500, and the addressable memory is a 16 KB. Addressable memory is a 16 KB, and the register sets are 7 registers. 7 register sets are 7 registers. Okay, now this microprocessor 8, not 8, this is the 8-bit. Only they have the increase the size of the processor. Instead of 4-bit, they have the 8-bit. Instead of 4-bit, they have the 8-bit microprocessor. Okay, now okay, now the next processor is a Intel 8088. Intel 8088. Okay. Now this processor has developed in 1974. Okay, it has the clock speed near about 2 megahertz. The transistors are little bit increased. Instead of 3500, here you have the 4500, and this is the faster than the previous version of the microprocessor. 10 times faster. Madam, the 10 times faster means what? Here they have 8088, the clock speed for the 4004, 4040, 8008. They have the clock speed near about 740 kilohertz. But in this microprocessor, they have increased the clock speed near about 2 megahertz. 2 megahertz. Now, here they have the 8-bit data bus, and the 16-bit address bus is there. Data bus is a 8-bit, and the address bus is a 16-bit. Okay. Now this is the next version of the processor. Now next is the 8085. This is a very important processor. Now 8085 processor, it has the clock speed near about 3 megahertz to 5 megahertz. Okay, it has the 8-bit data bus and it has the 8-bit address bus. And the new concept they have developed in this version of the microprocessor, that's serial communication. Madam, what do you mean by serial communication? Who will tell me the serial? At least have you heard about this serial communication? What do you mean by serial communication? Speak out, guys.
No, no, don't know anything about
Okay, okay. Serial communication means you can transmit the data in a one way. Communication means what? You can transmit and receive the data. You can transmit, you can receive and you can transmit the data. So that is the communication. Serial means what? You can a single way to transmit the data. Okay. So that concept has been developed in 8085 microprocessor. That concept has been developed in 8085 microprocessor. Now next is the sorry, Now the next processor is a Intel 8086 processor. Okay. Now the next processor is a Intel 8086 processor. It is a 16-bit processor. It is a 16-bit processor. Now it has this processor has been developed in 1978. Now it has the near about clock speed is a 5 megahertz, 8 megahertz and 10 megahertz. That means between the 5 to 10 megahertz. This is the clock speed of this processor. It has a 20-bit data bus. It has a 16-bit data. Guys. It is a 16-bit data bus and the address bus is a 20-bit. See guys, there is some little bit difference between the data bus and address bus. The data bus is for 8086 microprocessor is a 16-bit and the address bus is a 20-bit and the address bus is a 20-bit. Now the very most important concept they have developed, they have introduced in this, that is the pipelining. That is the pipelining and the concept of memory segmentation. And the concept of memory segmentation. They have developed, they have introduced this concept, that is the memory segmentation. So what do you mean by memory segmentation? That example I will give you. Okay. For example, I will give you. Okay, the simple example. When you have your whole memory, that is, it may be a 2 MB memory you have. When you partition into a small part, okay, you can have the 2 MB memory that will be partitioned into 2 KB, 3 KB, 5 KB, or the 5 KB. This your total memory is divided into 5 KB. So you are partitioning this memory. You are partitioning this memory, and that partition, the small partition, is called as a segment. That small that small partition is called as the segmentation. And the process on that is the total memory is divided into the small partition, that is called as the memory segmentation. Now this 8086 microprocessor has been developed in 1978. Now here there is a introduction of pipelining. They have introduced the pipelining. So now what do you mean by pipelining? Pipelining means okay, in the microprocessor
Execute.
uh,
Fetch, decode, execute.
yes. May you Avinash Ashwin or what?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good. The whatever the pipelining means, but in a microprocessor, you have a instruction there are some steps are there. Okay, whenever you give the instructions, it is fetched by the microprocessor. Okay, that is decoded by the microprocessor and that executed by the microprocessor. The simple example: your mother has given the instruction. That means you have to fetch that instruction. Okay, you have to decode. That means what? You have to convert. Bring means what? अरे ये हमको लाना है, apple लेके आना है. That is, you have decoded that instruction. And execution means what? You have already brought that apple from the shop. That is execution. Though similarly in a microprocessor, the user, software engineer, programmer will give the instruction to the processor. It will fetch that instruction. It will decode that instruction, and then it will executed by the processor. Okay, so that concept they have developed, they have introduced in 8086 microprocessor. I think all the technical related terms have you understood? Now whenever after this, whenever the term comes pipelining, the processor having this pipeline, the processor having the memory segmentation. So I will not explain you what do you mean by memory segmentation. Okay, you should know the concept of pipelining. You should know the concept of memory segmentation. Yes. Understood, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the next 8086 we have finished. Okay. Now next is the Intel 8088 processor. Intel 8088 processor. This processor has developed in 1979. Okay, it has a backward compatibility, that is it will compatible with the previous version of the microprocessor, which is a 8086 microprocessor. Okay, now the actually 8086 and 88 there is no such a minor difference is there, but instead of data bus they have just decreased the data bus, and the size of the data bus in 8088 microprocessor is a 8-bit microprocessor. Instead of 16-bit, they have decreased this. And they have less this or they have decreased the memory capacity, data capacity, which is 8-bit. Okay, that's all. There is no such a difference between 8086 and 88. Now, after this, they have gone through another microprocessor, that is a Intel 80186. Intel 80186. Now, this particular processor has been developed in 1982. Okay, in 1982. I have shown over here. Okay. Now, this 186 microprocessor, it has a clock speed is a 5 kilohertz, and it has a on-chip timer and controller and interrupt controller. That means, see, before that, whenever you have to design this microprocessor, you have to give the support of another IC for the timer chip, for the timer. Which is the timer IC? Anybody know?
IC 555 timer.
IC 555. Just 1 minute, guys. हॅलो मॅडम, नंतर फोन करता का? माझं लेक्चर आहे. मॅडम नंतर फोन करता का? लेक्चर चालू आहे माझं. Okay, now the Intel 80186 and 1888. This processor has been developed in 1982. Okay, now it has the on-chip timer. That means they have included the timer on that. And do you know the name of the IC for which is used for the DMA controller, that is direct memory access? Anybody know? DMA IC. Okay, just go through that. The Dell, actually, this is the concept of Dell. You just go to that. Okay. Now this 186 microprocessor and 188. It has the cheaper version of this 80188. Okay. It has the clock speed near about 6 megahertz, and it has included the interrupt controller, clock generator, local bus, and the counters are there. Okay, now these are the ICs they have included on this microprocessor. So this is the, they have included this concept. Now after this you have the 80286 is there. Okay, I think yeah, 5 minutes more. Okay, thought time is up. Okay. Now after this they have gone through the next version of the microprocessor, which is the Intel 80286 microprocessor. This microprocessor has developed in 1982. It has the clock speed just 1 megahertz has been increased in this. Okay, so they have near about 8 megahertz clock speed is there, but here the data size is a 16 bit and the address size is a 24 bit. Address size is a 24 bit, and it has the memory protection. It has the memory protection. That means what? In this particular version of the microprocessor, they have included the concept of multitasking. They have the concept of multitasking. Even the virtual memory concept they have included in this particular version of the microprocessor. Now what do you mean by multitasking? In short, I can define the multitasking is many tasks are executing simultaneously. Okay, we will go through this, go through this particular topic in detail. I think 5th or 6th unit. Okay, so that we will see. But the multitasking is the many tasks will be executed at the same time. Okay, at the same time. Now here they have included the virtual memory concept. That also we will see. Now it executes the 4 MIPS. Okay, it executes the instructions near about 4 MIPS. Okay. Now this is the next version of the Intel processor. After that you have the 386 microprocessor. After that you have the 386 microprocessor. Now the 386 microprocessor, it is a 32-bit microprocessor. It is a 32-bit microprocessor. Now this 386 microprocessor, it has developed in 1985. It has developed in 1985. Its clock speed is 16 to 33 megahertz, and the number of transistors are near about 2,75,000 transistors are there, and the address memory is 4 GB. Address memory is 4 GB. Now see guys, the before version you have only the 60 or the 1 MB memory is there for this, even for this also. Okay, but here they have near about 4 GB of memory. 4 GB of memory they have included, and the basic and the very important concept they have included in this version, that is the paging. That is the paging. So what do you mean by paging? That we will see afterwards. Okay, you just remember the word now, that is the paging. Multitasking, remember these words. Okay, now the 386 microprocessor, they have included the concept of virtual mode also. Okay, 386, there is a modes, real mode, virtual mode, and the protected mode. They have included this concept of mode in this particular 386 version of the microprocessor. And then you have the 486 microprocessor, then 586, that is the Pentium, that some features they are increased, that's all. Now see here, for the 486 they are increased, it is developed. There are some new features they are adding in the next version of the microprocessor, and that's why they are just giving the 486, 586, and then you have the Pentium is there, and then the core is there, okay, single core, double core, okay, quad core, something like that. Okay, now in 486 they have increased the virtual memory capacity to 1 TB. Now it is introduced in 1989. It is introduced in 1989. So this is the, I think, is okay. Okay, this is the 486. Okay, I think I will stop here so that. So here 486. Now the next Pentium we will go for the. We'll see in the next lecture. Okay. So have you understood today's lecture? You got it, guys?
Yes.
Any doubt? Let me know any doubt.
Ma'am, is there any naming convention between these processors?
I won't get it, your problem. Let me know.
I mean, is there a naming convention between these companies are using for Intel 4004, then Intel 4040, then this naming, how they give these names?
Arey, अच्छा, versions. See, the versions are there. See, how your mobiles are there. मोबाइल का वर्जन क्या रहता है, अभी पता नहीं मुझे, मोबाइल में सैमसंग में रहता है कि 8X आया, और एप्पल का वर्जन i10, और क्या बोलते हैं, एक मिनट, मोबाइल में कैसे वर्जन आते हैं, नेक्स्ट वर्जन, नेक्स्ट वर्जन, नेक्स्ट वर्जन, लेटेस्ट वर्जन आता है कुछ। तो एक एग्जांपल आप ही देखो, किसी को पता है क्या मोबाइल में अभी
Android 10, Android 11.
हाँ, तो उसमें कुछ एक्स्ट्रा फीचर्स दे विल एड इट. The basic concept is one and the same for the microprocessor, but they will suppose Android 11 में कुछ नए concept है. Take a simple Windows Windows का concept है 8, Windows 8, Windows 9, Windows 10. ओके, तो क्या रहता है इसमें, थोड़ा सा लुक अलग रहता है, कुछ फीचर्स दे आर एडिंग दैट. Okay, so they are just giving the version, they are giving the name actually. That's all, nothing else. अजून काही कोणाला डाऊट? Yes, anybody has any doubt? Ashwin, Vipul, Vishant, Himangi.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. You have understood today's lecture? I think, yes, have you understood today's lecture?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now I will stop here, and my lecture code is. I have given the attendance link for you. No, I think I haven't given you. No? Yes, have you? Yes, I have given you the attendance link to you.
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
no?
ma'am.
Okay, okay. I will give the Google form to you. You have to fill that Google form after every lecture. Okay? So that I will get it. Even from this also I will get the attendance. Today I will stop here. and you just remind, you have the lecture code, just write down the lecture code for today's CO12. CO12, that, okay, just remember this code, lecture code CO12. Okay, and whenever I am giving the Google form link, at that time you have to write this code in Google form and you have to submit it. After the lecture has been done, and before 5 to 10 minutes you have to fill that link. You have to fill that link. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now I will stop here. Thank you.